Tyler, a bit of a somber start today. Normally I'm all fired up. We're going to be fired up. We have a lot of things to talk about, but obviously the news today with John Madden passing suddenly, really difficult, for a lot of people, and just want to obviously off the top be able to touch on that a little bit. John Madden, I'm 40 years old. John Madden is someone who was, a giant part of my life growing up, watching sports, doing those things, and of course, when I began to get into video games, John Madden was like at his height. He was a trendsetter in a lot of ways for somebody like me, and definitely very sad to hear of his passing. Did you, as someone who's 15 years old? No, kidding. But
hey,
relationship with John Madden? Is he kind of somebody from like yesteryear? Is it somebody that like had any kind of meaning for you at all?
I mean, John Madden, the person, maybe a little. I mean, I remember him, but like, no, I don't know. I mean, it's tough, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's just, I don't know, just a reminder that nobody lives forever, and just value the people on earth when you still have them, I guess, right? I mean, that's usually kind of what I go to when people die, just because,
yeah,
I don't know, just got to appreciate people while
it
they're
is
still alive, really. But
I appreciate you.
He had a big impact, obviously, in his 85 or something.
Yes, and yeah, very, very cool. Like you said, you appreciate him. We appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody who's watching this. Want to make sure that we give a shout out to everybody who's also watching on delay. Certainly appreciate you taking the time to watch this. So, Tyler, what are we doing here today? We're gonna answer some questions. We're gonna just go rapid fire, like kind of the same thing we do every day, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll answer questions. You know how it is.
If you're joining us for the first time, yes, we're going to answer questions, and we're also going to ask you a question. And I've decided to label this, let's talk about it.
Oh my God.
Who was the biggest fantasy football? Give it to me.
Failure.
Failure. In 2021. Yes. So if you've got somebody that just let you down in your leagues, let us know. If there's a reason why you're not ready for a Super Bowl right now, who is the biggest reason why? And yeah, a lot of good comments already from on Twitter that we'll get into. But we got a question that comes right in from Luke Patrick, who says, got Trevor, CD, Boyd, and a third for Lamar in Superflex. Thought it was a steal. Wants to know what we think. Tyler, what do you think?
Well, I mean, it's a steal. I mean, at this point, if you look forward to let's say the off season, of course, at DLF, there is no off season. We will be here with you the whole year. We don't take any time off, no time off. But if you look forward to it, what is this going to be? A first in a Superflex, a first round startup pick, and then probably 2 second round startup picks and change. I mean, you'd rather have 2 second round startup picks than 1 first. So yeah, easily it's going to be the Lawrence side. It's not close.
Absolutely. So yeah, if this is your first time joining us, that's a preview of what we're going to be doing. We're going to be answering questions. So use the chat. Make sure you get it in there. Let's talk about your leagues. If you're in the championship, we could talk about that. Talk about your lineup a little bit. Whatever you want to talk about. But obviously, the offseason, lots of huge implications to come up. A lot of things that we're going to be talking about as time goes on. Rankings, things like that, including what are we going to do with Ronald Jones, somebody who is a free agent after this season? He ended up having a good week. You believed. I did not. So kudos to you.
Well, hold on. Whoa. He ended up having a good week. He did.
He scored a lot of points, didn't he?
He looked like. We wanted to use a different word there. No, he didn't have a good week. He was terrible. Like I've been saying for the whole time, he looked like garbage. Because that's what he is. Garbage. No, we're not buying Ronald Jones. If anyone just looks at the box score and sees, oh, he scored fantasy points for me, get him off your team immediately. He has no value. He's a waste of your time. You know what he is? Irrelevant. He has 1 more week of relevance. 1 more. That's it. That'll be it forever. Never again. Get him off your team.
20 carries. He had 65 yards and a touchdown.
Is 65 yards on 20 carries good? What about the 55 yards that Keyshawn Vaughn had on his one carry, in which, by the way, he looked better than anything Rojo put up in the entire game or all season? I wonder. No. Rojo sucks. Good. Get him off your team immediately. I don't see the point. You're not buying. I'd take him for a fourth, but that's it. I mean, a fourth, sure. A fourth, I'll take any running back who breathes. You breathe oxygen as a running back. Maybe I'll take you for a fourth, but no, I'm selling. Definitely selling.
Obviously, Leonard Fournette appears, poised to be able to come back and be the guy here. But as you mentioned, Keyshawn Vaughn did show a little something. Do you think he plays a part in this backfield going into the next year?
I mean, I don't know. I hope not.
Probably not.
Probably not, but he showed something. If Keyshawn Vaughn is on your waiver wire, he shouldn't be. And Ronald Jones shouldn't be on your waiver wire either. But remember what I said about running backs. Do you breathe? Are you in the NFL? Can you breathe? Then you should probably be on a team, right? So, that applies to Keyshawn Vaughn. You saw him make one big run. That means you should be rostered in Dynasty as running back.
Henry in the house. What's up, Henry? Appreciate you joining us. Henry is a legend. If you don't know Henry, you were in like 100 leagues this year. Appreciate you.
People keep telling me that I'm a legend.
Yeah.
These days. I don't know why.
I think you have to be around for 40 years like Henry before we start calling you.
We'll see if I live that
You're
long.
on the right track. You're on the legendary track. That's for sure.
I don't know if I have 15 more years of this in me. We'll see.
Spock 498 says, hello. What's up, Spock? Appreciate you tuning in. Henry chimes in here. I am in the final 12 of 4,608 teams. Not surprised, Henry.
It's like the least of all the pieces of information we could have learned about Henry. This is like the least surprising. This is like not surprising at all. This is Henry's specialty, is these kind of tournaments.
The FFPC best ball tournament winner gets $100,000. It wouldn't be Henry's first time bringing home a big prize.
I don't think it would, actually. No, I don't think it would be his first. I think it's happened multiple times.
Yeah, I'm saying it wouldn't be his first. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
Might have mumbled my words there. I'm a long shot. My team has holes, having no waivers all year.
Well, that's how best ball works. So that's smart. But everyone has holes then. It's not just you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. FF Lefty, yo fellas, what's up?
Welcome,
FF Lefty. Appreciate you tuning in. Good luck, Henry. Yeah, good luck. I honestly, Henry, I want you to bring home the prize. Does it go through just next week or does it go through the other one? Let me know.
It probably doesn't go through the other one. Nobody plays in week 18.
Sometimes people do. BJ Lee won by 50 last week without Eckler and Kelsey. Scored about 170.
Nice.
Killed it. Did you have Justin Jackson, who looked pretty good? What do you think about Justin Jackson? Better than Ronald Jones?
I mean, yes, but the NFL are draft capital snobs, so Rojo's more likely to get a job.
Oh man, that's interesting. Henry says thanks. Darshawn Bourne, half PPR. Keep 3 out of Mixon, Burrow, Andrews, Lamb, Javonte, AJ Brown, and Akers. That's a tough list.
Keep as in
half
what?
PPR. I guess
three. Yeah. Okay. So for questions like this, we need a lot more detail. Keep 3 out of this, or the 3? What is this? Is this like? I guess this is a 3 keeper. I mean, if it's a 3 keeper, assume it's a 1 QB. I guess. If it's a 1 QB, it would be, honestly, it's pretty close. I mean, Akers is not in consideration, but Lamb, Javonte, Brown, Andrews are all really good keepers. But yeah, I'd probably keep Andrews is a difference maker if it's only a 3 keeper at tight end. So I'd probably keep him. And then the running backs.
Ooh, I like that. I like that you include Andrews in there because I agree. He's still pretty young, relatively speaking. And you're right. He's a difference maker.
3 keeper is basically redraft, and Lamb and AJ Brown are great, but they're not first round picks in redraft. They're probably late second. Like redraft is going to be running back.
Yeah.
Even after this year.
If for some reason this is super flex, you're obviously keeping Burrow.
Well, then Burrow's my first choice. Easily my first choice.
Spock, Waddle to the moon. What do you think Waddle's ADP will be next year in redraft? He is going to be a huge climber and deserves it. I mean, he looks phenomenal in his rookie year.
If only people had, I mean, I said 2 months ago, Well, I mean, I would easily rather have Jalen Waddle over Rashad Bateman. Why would I want someone who's done nothing in the NFL? People are like, no, we got to take the better prospect. We don't care about the player who produced in the NFL. Irrelevant, right? That just couldn't be important. The player that actually produced in the NFL in a better situation instead of the one stuck in a nightmare. We wouldn't care about that, right? But no, that just made me so mad the week that happened. So I always go back to that. So I usually don't take victory laps, but that one, I'm like, oh boy, people really buried me for that. So wrong too.
We were talking, I mean, weeks and weeks ago before he really started to break out.
Weeks ago. I was talking about this weeks ago. This is something I've been I was early on. In redraft, I mean, a wide receiver like that, it's not going to be a first or second round pick, right? I just don't think so in a redraft. But third, fourth, probably. Third. I'm third or fourth. Yeah.
I'm looking on the most recent startup data here. So we're looking at
a redraft question. In a startup, I would take I have Waddle. I just did a tweet about this yesterday. I have Waddle at Dynasty wide receiver 8.
Yeah, Dynasty he went 29 overall. That's gonna go up.
But I said I ripped that ADP when it came out. And the month before. And the month before that.
Yeah. Wide receiver 15. Okay. No. Who does he go over? Deontay Johnson?
Yeah, I'll take him over Deontay Johnson.
Terry?
Easily over Terry. Terry's way lower.
DJ Moore?
Yes. I'll take Waddle over DJ Moore.
I agree with that. Most people, I don't think would, but Chris Godwin?
Well, I mean, Chris Godwin, it had late ACL tear, so
that's
Chris Godwin I had very high, but unfortunately, I'll take Waddle.
Debo?
I'll take Waddle.
Stephon Diggs?
No, Diggs is way lower. I'll take Waddle.
Wow. So what about AJ Brown?
Brown.
You've been a little bit lower on Brown, so I was kind of curious how that one would
still take Brown.
Shake out there. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I think Waddle. Is it possible that Waddle is saving to his job?
It's not possible.
No,
it's not. It's possible Waddle saving to his job. Waddle is saving to his job.
Yeah.
I think Tua would have failed without Waddle, personally. I still don't think Tua's all that great. I think people still think that pre-hip injury Tua will come back, and he never will. He never will. You should think of Tua like you think of Mac Jones. If you put Mac Jones in Miami and, had slightly better weapons, I think he could do something similar. I really do. I don't think those two are that different. I think they're very similar. You should think of them the same way.
Yeah. He's definitely better than Ian Book. We know that.
Oh boy. Well, Ian Book doesn't belong in the NFL. So he can go.
Gracious, what a mess that was.
Yeah, the pick 6 to start was a bad start, and then it's funny somehow. Usually after a pick 6, it can't get worse, but it did. It did. It got worse. It was so bad.
It's tough to judge too much on like when you got 4 offensive linemen out and all the weapons are there's nobody to throw to. But
yeah, but how many fantasy points do excuses score you?
None.
I don't want to hear about excuses then.
There are some Rojo truthers out there, says Ed. He called out.
Tell me that those Rojo truthers. You tell me what he did well. Just tell me. I'd love to hear about it. What this season, at any point, he's done well, other than sit on the bench. That's the one thing. He's been very good at that. But what has he done well? Really, I'd love to know. I haven't seen anything good. Anything, all it tells you is that they don't trust Vaughn at all. Really.
Now, let me give the flip side here. Because last season, Leonard Fournette was inactive about this point once and then went on a run and then obviously was really good for this season for fantasy. Does Rojo have something like that in him?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
All right. I like it.
I will tell you that if this week, and I would be careful starting Rojo this week, you have to, because it's against the Jets, you have to start him. But if Keyshawn Vaughn comes out and gets 20 carries, I won't be surprised. Arians even said, I see Keyshawn Vaughn as a lead back. Careful with this. I'm warning people.
That's why I did not trust him. You had him ranked pretty high that last week, but that's why I said you were
because
kind
I
of a
knew they were going
believer.
to give him the first chance, but they gave him the first chance and he sucked. Now we're on chance 2. I don't trust them as much with chance 2. I don't like chance 2. Chance 2 is not as good.
We know Arians doesn't love him, so I think that's the thing I always go back to. Is Arians?
Yeah, I'd rather not start Rojo this week, but I understand that you probably have to.
Yep, probably do. But no way you're starting Vaughn though, right?
If you're desperate, you can. But I suspect that you'll be able to pick up someone else.
Will Vaughn be ranked in your top 30?
33.
Oh, okay. I was close. Connor Rowe playing against Herbert in the championship. My roster is much more talented on projections. Do I hedge and add Herbert's target in Palmer?
Oh, if he's a player that you want to play, sure. But this is too cute. Just play your best player. There's too much of... We've learned recently you can't project the whole team. I mean, you have a team projected to score 200 who scores 110, and you have another team projected to score 110 who scores 200. You can't start with that. So just play your best players. I don't get into this kind of stuff. Play Palmer if he's your best option. He's probably not.
He's probably not your best option. As you're saying here, your roster is much more talented on projections. So I don't know what projections are worth, but clearly you've got a better roster, you think. I wouldn't hedge. I don't
have Palmer at wide receiver 48 for the week. So not interested.
Yeah, no thanks on that. I mean, Palmer
also with the new protocols, there's a good chance Mike Williams now plays when he wouldn't have before. So then forget it with Palmer.
But you're right. This just strikes me as like too cute. And if you've got Kelsey and somebody has Mahomes, okay, that's different.
Just play your best players. People overthink this. It's not actually that hard.
John Garrett's going into my first Dynasty offseason is right after the season when the market on players is most volatile to take advantage in trades before hive minds develop on players closer to next season. Good question.
I mean, yes and no. Like, there are some people who just don't want to trade. So you can find some people are just like, I'm kind of checked out. Don't really want to trade. You can try. I mean, you can always try. I don't know. I haven't found this to be the case because I feel like I can take advantage of people all year round. But honestly, I get it. I would say where I would say that is more important on this is I do find that doing an early startup, you can do better than doing a startup in August. But unfortunately, in existing leagues, I do find that trading in January and February is typically very stale. That's why, you can, the people who are active in trading at that time tend to be the best managers. So you're fighting an uphill battle. The worst ones tend to take a break.
100% agreed. And, John, I think a lot of it's going to depend on your league. If you are with a lot of other first timers, you just may not, they might not know. They may not be as plugged in, as locked in as you, and they may just think, we're going to take off until after the draft or,
There's some people who do that. Yeah.
Right. So you just may not, I think it's a great time to send some offers and, hey, welcome to your first off season. Stick with us. And, we are going to be here taking these kind of questions and doing everything we can to help you out. So appreciate the question and good luck. Certainly let us know how that goes. Derek Alcamo. Rojo stinks. I almost lost starting him over Justin Jackson. I thought Justin Jackson was good.
I mean, I would have done that too, though. So I would have lost there. I would have lost there myself. That happens.
Andrews and Higgins carried Henry to the final 12. They had good weeks.
Yep.
All 12. We start at 0, and it's week 17 only. Yeah.
Good luck.
Took Allen Robinson in the third, and that's killing his team. Not great.
It's funny. Allen Robinson was on the COVID list this week, and no one even noticed. It's like it didn't matter.
Right. Darshawn Bourne, keeper league, one
This is in reference
QB.
to his previous question, but
Okay.
I don't.
Every
Yeah.
player kept takes up a pick. Okay, so in other words, I guess you could not keep somebody if you wanted to. That would be my guess. But usually all the best players are kept. Let's see. BJ didn't watch the game last night. Did Madison look okay? Is this must be from the other night?
He's talking about Sunday? That game was on Sunday.
Yeah, whichever. Did Alexander Madison? How did Alexander Madison look to you?
Fine, but he's not Dalvin Cook. And now with the new protocols, I expect Cook to clear. So.
Yep, Darshawn in the house. What's up, Darshawn? Appreciate you joining us and hanging out. MJ Jr. 23.
All right.
Brady, huh?
No, I gotta go to the ranks.
Tom Brady versus the Jets, or Josh Allen versus the Falcons.
How do you have to make this? Well, I guess if you have it's one QB, you have to make choice. I'll take Allen.
Yeah, I'll take Allen right there. And Devontae Adams versus Minnesota, or Diggs versus Atlanta.
Oh, it's Adams, but I can't imagine that you're in a situation where you're sitting Diggs. I have Adams at wide receiver 2 and Diggs at 7 for the week. So
yeah,
I don't know what situation you're in where you're sitting Diggs. Personally,
Adams would be my choice if I have to choose between the two for some reason. But yep, I'm with you.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to.
He follows up Kittle versus Houston, or Andrews versus the Rams. You can't sit Andrews right now. Don't do it.
Take Andrews.
He is just on a hot streak right now, man. You love to see it.
Yeah, Andrews is succeeding with every quarterback too, which I really like.
Yes. He has more than 100 points more than all other tight ends on the season other than Kelsey, Kittle, and Dalton Schultz.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that.
Every other tight end has less than 100 points, or 100 points less than him. Henry, I'm still alive in 7 of my 9 leagues. Wow. There's no way you're only in 9 leagues. This must be your 9 dynasty leagues.
No, it's 7 of 9 leagues I run.
Okay.
Forgot that key 2 words there.
Okay.
So he runs 9 leagues. That's a lot just to run.
That is. But my 13-1 IDP team had injuries and COVID and put up the worst week of the year, and I am done. So just whenever you have those 13-1 like best teams of your life, those are always the ones that let you down.
It happened more this year with COVID, which I get it. I mean, I've heard a lot of the sentiment of like, this just wasn't fun for me. And like, I get it. A lot of the randomness came right at the end with COVID, which you can't plan for and can't really control. So I get it. There's no matter what depth you had, you cannot replace Travis Kelce and Austin Eckler. You just can't. Maybe you could have picked up Justin Jackson. There was no replacing Travis Kelce. There's nothing you could have done. And most people who had Travis Kelce in a redraft didn't have a pivot option because you would never have one. So it's added a level of strategy that I do not enjoy. And I understand that other people don't enjoy them. Just having people randomly getting pulled from lineups at the last minute, I understand why that is very frustrating.
Me too. And it's why last Thursday I said, like, hey, if you got somebody that's active and healthy on Thursday night, play them.
Yeah, but see, I don't like that that's the case either.
If that's where we're at. That's kind of reality right now. Like you could be saving a spot for someone that ends up testing negative the night before they play. And
positive, you mean?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. But I get what you're saying.
Yep. So just to reset, we're 25 minutes in now. You guys go ahead. You could use the live chat function right there on YouTube. If you're watching anywhere else besides YouTube, YouTube is the best place to do it, because we do have other people commenting in the comment section there, answering questions. Make sure you go check us out right there. You can ask us about anything. If you got trades, dynasty strategy, drafts, literally anything you've got coming up, you can ask us about. Any kind of random questions. And we do have our question of the week that we're asking you. Who was your biggest fantasy football?
And we haven't talked about this much.
Who was your biggest fantasy football? What is it?
Failure. Haven't been as into that. I'm not going to lie. It's better when it comes up naturally, when I'm talking about it. Trying to force it doesn't sound as good.
I still love it. Ed Friend said, hey, if we take out injuries, Terry McLaurin has got to be up there for a biggest disappointment. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's up there, but to be fair, like among people who have played the whole season, really no injuries, no any of that. Yeah, he's up there. But there are other players I think I would say are really the injury was not the problem as well. That Terry McLaurin at least has been startable at some weeks, but he's been disappointing.
He's definitely somebody you've talked about. You've also talked a little bit about Saquon Barkley, who, again, didn't have a great week.
Oh, my God. The people who still think that Saquon Barkley has any elite talent left are delusional. Delusional. You're just delusional. You're not watching. You're not watching. You're not looking at the box score. Your brain is just telling you that, and you're going with it. You've decided that it's that way, and you won't be convinced otherwise. You're just wrong. Saquon Barkley has nothing. No elite anything left whatsoever. Nothing. None. He's just a guy. He's done. I don't want him. He's outside Dynasty RB1 range for me. I've had it. He has not. Why? What has he done in the last 3 years to earn being a Dynasty RB1? Spend a lot of time injured? Do we like players who are unavailable? No. Do we score points for excuses? No. Do we score points for inefficient play and not even workhorse touches on a terrible offense? Does that score us fantasy points? How about that? I don't think so. I don't think we score fantasy points for that either. So, no, he is we're going to hear it all offseason. Oh, yes, he will come back to being elite. Rewind the clock 4 years then. You do that. You turn back time. I'm not having it. I'll go another way.
Yeah, it is definitely not worked out for him this year. That is for sure.
He's the biggest bust. He's the biggest bust. You spent in redraft, you spent a top 5-10 pick on him, and he's offered you nothing at all. Nothing for that pick. Nothing. You lit it on fire. You might as well. You would have been better off having nobody than Saquon Barkley and playing the waivers. You would have been better off using that roster spot on waiver wire pickups in redraft on quarterbacks or defenses or anything else. Seriously.
Yeah. Allen Robinson's got to be up there too, right? I mean, he's somebody
total bust. The only thing is you only picked him in the third in a redraft, say, instead of and in the late third, early fourth of a dynasty. So you didn't give up the same capital. But again, nothing. He's nothing. He's giving you nothing. Zero use. Has Allen Robinson even had one usable week? I don't remember any. Maybe there was one.
Even if he did, you probably weren't starting him
on at that point.
Yeah.
No, Allen Robinson, he has not had more than 68 receiving yards all season. He has one touchdown, one game with more than 4 catches, and that was week 1. So
tough.
Nothing. Yeah, his best PPR performance is 10.8, if I'm reading this correctly. So he's actually giving you nothing at all.
Laviska Shenault, Ed says.
I mean, sure, but he's a lot lower. He didn't. If you drafted him in redraft, say you spent an 8th round pick on him, you can overcome that. In Dynasty, maybe you spend a 6th rounder and a 1 QB 5th, 6th rounder, or a 7th, 8th, and a super flex. You can overcome that. You can get past that. It's not as devastating.
Yeah. The other one he mentions here, obviously on the rookie side, Terrace Marshall and Trey Sermon, both. I mean, just huge disappointment.
Trey Sermon is worse because he was much higher. Terrace Marshall, I mean, yeah, he's just disaster.
All right. Who do you guys think? Let us know. And if you're watching this, go ahead and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Go ahead and hit the button to subscribe. Smash that thumbs up so you like the video, all those things. Tell us hi. Look, Tyler works hard for you. Make sure you show him that appreciation that he deserves in there. Let's see. So, Ed, my first ever league was a 3-man keeper back in the early 90s.
Before I was born.
I'm sure someone was playing Dynasty back then, but I certainly didn't hear about it. Me neither. I was playing in the early 90s too, but I made my league start keeping more and more people, and then we eventually just made it a Dynasty league. Henry, I nearly made the NFFC cut line, 100,000, final 12-2, finished 15th and 20th. Sadly for me, if Tyreek Hill sat out, I would have made it. I had Renfro in my lineup.
Oh, man.
Took him out for Tyreek.
I heard a lot of these stories. People who if Tyreek had sat, then the other player they had in for Tyreek would have been enough. I heard a lot of that. A lot of those stories. Sucks.
Henry says, who's drafting these drafts when you reference startup ADPs? So this is according to Dynasty League Football data. So dynastyleaguefootball.com, if you are is it a platinum member? What do they call it? What do we call it?
A subscriber? DLF subscriber?
A subscriber? I feel like there's we need a name for it.
No, just a subscriber.
All right.
Member, I think we call it sometimes. Subscriber sometimes.
Okay. If you're a dynastyleaguefootball.com member, you have access to the Dynasty ADP, and Ryan's always out on Twitter looking for people to help fill those ADPs.
What Henry is asking is who's doing these drafts. And to be honest, anybody can do these drafts. I mean, the whole point of them is that they're supposed to give a good sampling of the market. These are not expert drafts. They're not. I did these drafts 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago at this point. I was certainly not an expert at that point. The drafts are supposed to give an estimate of the market. So they include a lot of different people. I mean, they include whatever sampling Ryan gets from Twitter, which is, we have usually 4 in season and 6 off season monthly. So he tries to get a good sampling, 12 people per draft. It's like 72 off season. And, of course, 72 is not necessarily representative of the 10,000 people who play Dynasty. So there can be some quirks, it happens from month to month. I would say that, just don't use ADP as the be all and end all of your process. That's why we have rankings, and the trade analyzer also will help you because that'll factor in actual trades. And those, obviously ADP is a snapshot in time once a month, whereas the trades are updated a little more frequently. So trades come in every day. So, you use, and rankings are updated more than ADP also. So you use all of the tools, in combination, I guess. Don't just use one, use everything. And that's kind of how you, you can get the most bang for your buck out of DLF. At least I do anyway. I mean, I use them all. I try to, when I'm riding, sometimes I use ADP. Typically, the farther away we are from the ADP data, the more likely I am to quote our rankings instead. And then sometimes I use a trade analyzer or trade finder.
I use it as a shorthand just to basically say where the market roughly is on a player. And sometimes, it is a rough estimate. And it like Tyler said, with any information, it's only as good as the data that's involved in it. So
also, one other note about ADP. The higher in the rankings it is, trust it more. The lower, just ignore it. Like past 150, pretend the ADP is not there. Because then one pick can be 50, 60 picks off. It changes everything. Just ignore it. But ADP is far more accurate near the top of the rankings. It's far more useful as a tool for like the top 100. It starts to get more wonky after that, just as a tip when using ADP to help you.
Agree with that. Henry won his first 2 games in the loser bracket and 2 of his FFPCs. So he's playing for the number 1 pick next week. We have an RB that will worthy of number 1 next year. I wanted to mention this because Ed says it's early, but I'm like, it's Spiller over Hall and Walker. So for me, I'm not quite there yet to be ready to.
And I'm going to be there even later than you.
Yeah. So we're not.
But I mean, honestly, like when DLF starts producing written rookie content, that's probably when I'll start because I want to participate in that. So whenever that starts, it's probably when I'll start. I don't know when that's going to be. Honestly, like I'm not even going to think about it until the season's over and, we still got a week and then I'm exhausted. Like I just don't. And I don't have the same, and, I think I've been honest about this, even though we started this show after the rookie season, mostly, I don't have the same passion for rookies and Devy and rookie analysis, rookie drafts. I do not have the same passion for that I do Dynasty. What I really love doing is helping people with Dynasty trades and Dynasty startups. And then I do like the in-season grind. We don't talk about that much on this show, but that's a lot of what I do off of this show.
Yeah.
But rookie process is not something that I have the same passion for. So I'll do it, but just bear with me in the fact that it's not probably going to come at the same speed or level of depth that I do with the in-season stuff. I'm going to do the best I can, but I just appreciate a little bit of patience with me on that. And it's not my specialty either.
I love the rookie draft. I love thinking about the rookie draft. Love, figuring out what I'm going to do with those picks and all that. And I know you do too. But I
do, but I love it more from the startup process, like managing the dynasty team itself side rather than rookie eval. Rookie eval is not something I'm passionate about really much at all.
It says Rojo's best case scenario is landing in a timeshare with a running back who can catch and takes over all passing and third down work. So
Rojo is not getting another. Rojo is irrelevant.
He seems to me like he is the kind of running back that would be perfect for Belichick. Like
Belichick's not dealing with Rojo.
That Damian Harris type role. Like he just kind of seems like he would be in that kind of mold with a James White out of the backfield. Something like that.
I don't think Rojo is going to have any relevance.
I don't either. I don't like him. J-Cast, love the show. Thanks, J-Cast. Pick 2 at flex. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Brandon Ayuk, Javonte Williams, Jeff Wilson, Tony Pollard. Thanks. Elijah Mitchell's not ruled out yet, is he?
No, and even if he were, I'd probably just go Metcalf and Lockett.
Ooh, Metcalf and Lockett. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not playing Pollard. I don't think you're playing Wilson.
I mean, I could play Wilson if against Houston if Mitchell was out. But I don't.
What do you think about Ayuk now with Trey Lance possibly throwing him the ball?
I mean, he's fine, but I'm not running to play him.
Yeah. He's been another one that you could say failure this year, huh? Based on what was expected and where he was drafted, I mean...
Other people expected a lot more from him than I did. So I don't feel as burned by him as some do.
Yeah, you cannot call this season a success for him.
No, I would not call it a success.
Nope. Sergio Garcia for championship games. What do you think about Michael Carter going against the Bucs?
He is a low-end RB2. It's a low-end RB2.
He looks pretty good.
I agree.
But we did in our Slack, there was a redraft of the rookies for DLF.
I barely even saw that.
I didn't see it until after it was over, but I saw Michael Carter went before Elijah Mitchell.
I don't agree.
Interesting.
Let me see this alleged draft.
You got to go look it up?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I'll keep my mouth shut. Let's move on.
Oh, come on.
I don't agree with a lot of it. I don't agree with a lot of it. Put it that way.
Amon-Ra went too late.
Way too late. I mean,
I love Amon-Ra Brown. St.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
Man, some of this is.
Don't give any names. What jumps out?
I would never give any names. I don't even want to comment on it. But okay. I'll just leave it at not what I would have done.
Samuel Argueta? Let me go with that. Get rid of the guy. Oh, what?
But hey, I mean, look, that's a good thing. I honestly think about DLF in general is that we don't have groupthink here. Like if you listen to DLF podcast, I do. So I would suggest you listen to it. You can listen to that podcast, and it's rare that I agree with them on anything. So, clearly there's nobody's telling me what to say
right
from above or anything.
Will, what's up, Will? Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the question in my league.
Also, insulting people on this channel. I have no idea what that comment was about. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
I don't even think that was about me, actually. But I don't insult the other people on this channel either.
Yeah, exactly. No way. The 3 trade addicts looked at in my league, the 3 trade addicts look to deal year round, while the other 13 say, I'm not looking to make deals until after the NFL draft.
Let me make a suggestion for you then. Why don't you join a better league?
It's hard to find though. Like it really is hard to find leagues that where
So
there
easy
are
to find.
16 people active.
Well, let me tell you, well, first of all, I have some places where you might want to look, but DLF forums would be one, Twitter another. I retweeted someone was looking for, I think it was Zoltan, was looking for people to join his leagues. I know that, believe me, from seeing what goes on in those leagues, that those are very active. So that could be an option for you. You know, Ryan and Scott have leagues, Scott Fish have leagues all the time that they post. Those are always active. So I think if you look on Twitter, just find someone rep Dynasty Outhouse. He doesn't have too many new leagues of his own, but I think he has a pretty good handle on which leagues are active and which ones are. And I think you'll find something. If you look, you'll find something.
Very good. Kyle, is the back end of the first round rookie draft more running back or wide receiver heavy?
Yeah, we gotta pass on that. I'm not. I have no idea. I'm not there. At least give me the fantasy season being over. I spent most of my time last week on start sit. Because people rely on me for start. I got 300 questions on Sunday morning. Just Sunday morning, not even the rest of the week. Like, people rely on me for that. I do not have time to do rookies right now. People want me to help them win titles. Giving them advice about rookies doesn't win anyone any titles. I give you the same advice 2 weeks from now, it's the same. So give me at least a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So just in general with some of these, like couple general rules of thumb real quick. So one, if you're asking because you are trying to win a championship and you could trade one of these and you're trying to figure out like, it's going to be more wide receivers and I need a running back, whatever. Like, if that's it, go for it. Flags fly forever.
Well, if you're trying to win a championship, you should trade the pick away for a veteran.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, do that. If you're asking based on like trying to figure out your draft strategy, we have time. Like, I don't know many leagues that draft, even the ones who draft early, we still got a little bit of time before you have to do that. So we got to figure out who's all going to declare and all that stuff. It's going to impact that.
Yeah, we don't even know who's in the class.
Right. That late part. There's still some dominoes to fall there. Henry, in my one league, I was down Christian McCaffrey, Eckler, Hopkins, and Waller.
And that's a brutal team because if that's your core, it's all aging.
Oh, yeah. It was like a waste of the entire season. Yeah, but I bet you felt invincible going into the season, though. You thought
always do
win the whole thing.
People always do.
No doubt. Okay. Connor, where is running back Damian Harris in your projections?
That's been a while. I have him at 16. Seems about right.
Yeah,
Jacksonville.
Good lady. Do you remember when we buried him 6 weeks ago? Not we, but it seemed like everybody was like, Ramondre Stevenson, he's the guy.
I don't remember doing that.
Not you. I'm saying
I've always had. Since that breakout, I've basically had them back to back, and they remain there back to back. But I have always said it's going to be so tough to choose between them that I don't really want either one.
That's literally my follow-up question was going to be, do you think we're going to end up next season over the offseason arguing about this on Twitter?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think that's more of a redraft argument.
Yeah. But I'm with you. I don't want either because there's going to be some shenanigans there. T. Higgins asked BJ Lee, how good is he?
Very good.
Yeah. Very.
Where do you think I have T. Higgins in Dynasty rankings?
Gosh. Wide receiver is so hard because there's so many good ones.
Is it?
Let me see. You've got him below Waddle?
Below Waddle.
All right. 11.
9.
Okay. Not bad.
Yeah.
And you have Chase, 3 or 2?
Chase? 2.
Where do you have Burrow?
QB 6.
Okay. If he's got 2 top 9 wide receivers, that might be low.
I don't think so.
Ed really likes T. Higgins, top 15. I think top 15 safe. It's definitely in that range. Probably top 12.
Bold, bold moves.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
People always get on me for quick adjustments like this, but I always say If you thought you were wrong, why continue to be wrong? Why continue to be wrong? Like, oh, you made too big of an adjustment. But what would you want me to do? Stick with what I don't believe anymore? You don't want me to do that. That's stupid.
No, don't do that.
I can just do that to make myself look better. But I don't care. I don't really care what people think of me at this point. You know, enough people respect what I do that I don't care. I just want to get it right. So whatever it takes, if it's a big flip flop, it's a big flip flop. That's the game. Things change week to week, is what it is.
Joshua is starting Rojo and Sony for the championship, and I am actually stoked about it. All right. Would you start Swift over either of these two if he plays?
I got to hear more about Swift, but probably not over Sony with Henderson out completely. Akers could come back, but I was more worried about Henderson when getting healthier than I am Akers now coming back, at least for just this week. Rojo, though, I don't trust. So Swift would probably be in between Sony and Rojo.
So
I have
funny.
Sony at 9 and Rojo at 13.
So funny. Okay.
He'd be somewhere in there.
Ed does not have T. Higgins as a wide receiver 1.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Ed,
22.
boo.
He's 22.
Right.
I think that's helping.
He's got 2 really incredible seasons now under his belt.
He does. Yeah. He does. I mean, his career trajectory actually looks similar to DJ Moore's, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
Except he's in a much better, he's scored more touchdowns each year than Moore. And, you know, he's in a much better quarterback situation. But he has 105 targets already this year in 13 games. You know, but he's upped his receptions this year. He's done more with his targets. Same number of touchdowns on 3 fewer targets, but he has over 100 more yards and 4 more catches. So I don't know. I think you're going to be happy with T. Higgins moving forward.
BJ wants to know if we should pick up Dare Agumbawale. And
Sure.
Can we talk about how sad it is that James Robinson tore his Achilles?
Very sad. James Robinson is one of my favorite players. So yeah, it's very sad.
It's too sad, almost. Like
it is what it is.
This opens the door back up for some Travis Etienne relevance, right?
It opens the door back up for me to sell Travis Etienne immediately. That's what it does. I don't believe in him. We've heard nothing. What have we heard about Travis Etienne's coming back from his injury? What have we heard about that? Nothing.
Nothing.
Really nothing. And people try to show me studies that explain, well, you know, the history of this is this, but people would have shown me those about Saquon Barkley. And how did that go? I don't want to hear about a study. I don't want to hear about a meta-analysis. I don't care. I care about what this player is doing. I don't hear him coming back. So I want to hear about this. And people were talking about, this Cortland Sutton should be good. Everything's great. Not great. It's not great. So, you know, there were bad things. And then all of a sudden now it's come across the whole year where it's been bad. So these are things that are player specific. They don't carry over from one player to the next. So I don't know. Travis Etienne, I don't believe.
Henry paid 3 first-round picks to acquire the 101 to take Saquon Barkley.
I'm so sorry.
Led me to a championship his rookie year.
Okay, that's good.
Now, 3 years later, I have to decide if I am playing him in my title game.
You can't do that. You cannot play him. I have him. Yeah, no, you can't do that. I have him at, I guess I have him at running back 24. So you could play him, but I figure you're going to have better options if you're in the championship game. I'm not doing it. I'd rather play. Isn't it crazy that I'd rather play Devin Singletary over Saquon Barkley? That's where we are. But I would.
That is crazy. Okay, I'm
not
gonna.
Not that close either. Not even close. It's not like a decision. It's an easy decision.
You take this question. Give me just.
All right. Okay, so from Will, sat AJ Brown for a Chase Gibson flex pair and managed to survive. I don't know if I would have risked Gibson. I probably would have played AJ Brown on Thursday night because he was playing and I would have gotten the points. Managed to survive. Felt sick up until the Gibson touchdown this week. Torn this week with my flexes. Doing everything in my power not to get cute, Tinker. So we're talking about between these players. I mean, I would play Chase and Brown easily. Yeah, easily. Chase and Brown over Gibson. I'm not playing Gibson this week. Biggest failure, John Sharkey. Biggest failure, Trey Sermon and Trevor Lawrence. Trey Sermon, yeah. Trevor Lawrence, yeah. I mean, we're on biggest failures here. So Trey Sermon, obviously. Trevor Lawrence, yes, but not to the same degree.
It goes in with FF Lefty's comment that Urban Meyer is the biggest fantasy football failure. Yeah. He kind of messed up a generational talent at QB, so you can.
Yeah, I mean, he ruined Lawrence and James Robinson.
Yeah,
I do think though that Laviska Shenault's problems are on him.
Yes, I think there's a lot.
Yeah,
a lot there with him. Yeah, Henry Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a huge disappointment.
Yeah, failure is a disappointment. He is. It's funny that, it's almost like when he went out, no one cared. It's because no one cared.
I know.
It makes no difference.
It
makes no difference. The offense is the same, whether he's in or out. It's literally no difference. He doesn't matter. He's irrelevant.
He did have a good run at the goal line last week.
Oh, that was the first one of his career.
Yeah.
1 in 2 years.
It looked good.
One good run in 2 years is good. I'm so proud of him.
Take some wins, when you can get them there.
There are no wins if you drafted CH 101 in rookie drafts. Well, there's no victory at this point. It's too late.
It was 1997 when Henry started his first.
I was 2 years old. 2 years old.
I was a sophomore in high school. Jason, no, you aren't a fan of Travis Etienne. Is it the injury, or did you have other concerns about him?
Oh, it's just the injury, really.
The injury is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's just the injury. Just the injury. I'm always skeptical because this is like never worked. Is when we get an injury that occurs before a player ever plays, somehow that player just kind of never seems to work out. I mean, think of one. Think of one who got hurt before they ever took the field and then worked out later.
No.
It's just that pattern of just missing your entire rookie year due to an injury is like death.
Especially like his kind of injury. I mean,
it's just the history of success among those players is low. Very low.
Yeah.
So I'll pass.
Ed, congratulating Henry. Always pushed to keep more and more, but people didn't want to water down the yearly draft, so it was losing back. Yeah, that was always the argument I got too, Ed. They didn't want to water down the draft. I just wanted, I drafted whoever it is in the 16th round. You shouldn't get him in the second round next year. Like, I should be rewarded for that. That was always my thing, is that I didn't want you to be able to draft the guy I liked. Let's see. Ed, injury on Etienne, but this J-Rob injury certainly helps. Yeah, it kind of opens the door for things to be wide open. I'm curious to see, you got the change in head coach. Curious who's going to come in there.
Yeah, but the head coach who overdrafted him in the first place is gone.
Yep. Luke Jukum, one of my favorite names on YouTube right here. How you feeling about DK Metcalf? I was a little worried by the off-field stuff. More worried with the down season. Does he remain a wide receiver 1 if DK leaves and Seattle rebuilds? A lot of eyes on DK's situation this offseason, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, but I can understand if you're concerned. I mean, DK Metcalf has not been that bad this year.
Yeah.
But
it's a little overblown, but
it's a little overblown. But again, the production really, once Russ got hurt, the production just kind of flamed out completely. So I don't know. I mean, it depends on who the new quarterback is.
Yeah. I mean, he's the wide receiver 14 on the season. It's not like he,
I am slightly worried, but I'm not quitting on DK Metcalf.
Right. I'm with you. Let's see.
If you were 2 years older like Terry McLaurin, I would get it. Because then you could say, oh, by the time the situation works out, the value is going to go away. But since he's 2 years young, over 2 years younger than McLaurin, I more likely to hang on to Metcalf.
I mean, I don't see any reason why he should be below a top 5 wide receiver in terms of dynasty startup.
I don't have him top 5 anymore.
He's 24 years old.
I have him at 7.
Interesting. Mac, hello from Serbia. Watching you every week out over here. Keep it going. Wow. International, Tyler. International.
I love it.
Appreciate you, Mag. Luke Patrick, what wide receiver would you target for Bateman and 2 late seconds? All right. So you got Rashad Bateman. You have 2 late seconds burning a hole in your pocket. What wide receiver are you going after?
I mean, okay, like, is DJ Moore realistic? Because that would probably be my first choice.
No.
You don't think so? People really don't like DJ Moore.
I think a lot of people that don't like DJ Moore don't have him already.
No,
Like,
I think people who have him are actually very frustrated with DJ Moore.
Interesting.
That would be my first attempt. I would try.
Feels too high.
It feels a little bit high, but I mean, Bateman in 2 seconds. I mean, Terry McLaurin, but that's already not that exciting.
That would be a smash accept for me to trade away Bateman 2 seconds.
I want to try to get DJ Moore. That would be DJ Moore is the one I'm targeting.
I mean, you would obviously do it for Waddle.
Oh, easily. But I just figured that was not possible. Deontay Johnson, I don't think is possible, but I would do it.
T. Higgins.
Again, not possible, but I would do it.
Yes.
I think Moore is the one in that range that might be possible.
All those are below Moore in ADP. That's why I'm kind of...
Yeah, I'm just saying, I just have a good handle on what... I think Moore is the one that's possible. Trust me.
Okay.
Waddle and Higgins, no way.
Couple recent Rashad Bateman trades, according to DLF's Trade Finder, which is another great tool you can find at dynastyleaguefootball.com when you become a member. Rashad Bateman and a 3rd, or Keenan Allen and a 4th.
I mean, I get this trade, but going into the offseason, I'll take Bateman.
Rashad Bateman for Cordero Patterson and a 3rd. Must be somebody trying to get...
I'll take Bateman.
He's slowing down anyway. I'm not sure Patterson is the guy.
Yeah, Patterson is flaming out. I'll take Bateman.
Bateman and a 1st for DeAndre Hopkins and a 2nd.
I'd rather have Bateman over Hopkins. I don't want Hopkins at all. So Bateman and a 1st.
It's a super flex, and there's no way I would do a trade.
No, I'm not. I don't want Hopkins at all.
Nah, me neither. Okay, so that's a few Rashad Bateman trades. You can kind of check out.
Yeah, but those are all going. Those are not going the direction we want to go.
Derek, I'm looking to get in a 2nd dynasty league, 16 teams. DM me if you have a spot. Been playing since
me personally. Yeah,
so
I can't help with leagues. I have a lot of leagues I'm familiar with through Patreon, but obviously any league I'm familiar with through Patreon, I can't help you sign up for because I can't reveal that I'm in that I'm really in that league, right? I mean, I am. I'm not in it, but like I can't really share that. So like, unfortunately, I'm the worst person to ask personally when it comes to finding leagues. Now, of course, I have a lot of friends in the community, and a lot of them do actually ask me to retweet their we need someone in a league, blah, blah, blah. So check my timeline. I do retweet that stuff often. And, MFL and Sleeper have both chatted with me about that as well. I often get tagged with MFL, and Sleeper and I have talked. So don't be surprised if you see something in the works there.
This is what Ed's the best. Like to have this knowledge just in the back of your head right there, Ed, to be able to greet Mag in this way. I don't know enough to know this positive.
I don't know what this means, but
yeah, but it was right there. Mag knew exactly what was going on.
I love it.
Yeah, perfect. Ed is a multi-talented person. I appreciate you, Ed. Eric, Eric says, Luke, I think at this point you just hold unless you can fleece someone into Elijah Moore or Jalen Waddle.
Elijah Moore would be good. Elijah
Yeah.
Moore, I think maybe. But I'm telling you can get DJ Moore. I'm telling you people are tired of DJ Moore. They're writing off a very successful career just because of a few bad games. Very successful, productive career. It's not hype. Go look at DJ Moore's production. The production is there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you can get DJ Moore.
Who is the quarterback week 1 in 2022 for Carolina?
Deshaun Watson.
I feel like they're the most likely to make a major play.
They are now because I think Miami has taken themselves out of consideration.
Their ownership team is super aggressive. They've been talking a lot
very aggressive
about quarterback, and it's clear that Darnold's not the guy.
We know Watson would accept the trade there. We know that the Panthers are interested in him. So I think that's got to be it. That's got to be.
Got to connect the dots.
Yeah. It's the AFC
Eric,
or the NFC, AFC to NFC.
We appreciate you. Eric, is there any hope for J-Rob at this point? Or do you just try to sell for a second if you can?
I mean, I'd probably, if I can get a second in this year's draft, I'd probably just do it. And then I have something that's has a chance to move around in value over J-Rob. I mean, I don't know exactly where. I mean, I've dropped J-Rob out. He's at, yeah. I would take, I don't know if I would take the 212, but, and 1 QB, but it's hard for me to spot it exactly. But most seconds, yeah, I would take it.
You know, I wonder if there's a little bit of I don't even know if this is a thing, but I'd be curious to ask, someone who understands injuries a lot better than me, if there is a roadmap that Cam Akers has now that can help. Sometimes these things happen, and I know Jeff Mueller on Twitter was talking about how he was load bearing on it very early. Like, sounded like there was a little bit of a different treatment method for Cam Akers, which partially is leading to why he's coming back so quickly. So maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a way that J-Rob.
I've heard about that actually, about that new treatment.
Yeah,
someone was talking about that on a podcast. I forget who it was, but it was like a detailed analysis of this alleged new treatment. So we're not going to get the full info on that, but
no, not from us.
We're not going to get that info.
But it makes me at least a little bit hopeful that he can come back and be something. But I just don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to invest in it and make a trade for him.
No, it's just because the draft capital is not there. So we knew the Rams were going to return to Cam Akers, but we don't know that about the Jaguars and James Robinson. So
yep,
I think that I'm going to have to pass and just, I would, most seconds I'd be fine. Just moving on. Once we get to the offseason, I'll give you an exact price.
Sergio Garcia wants to know early thoughts in a keeper league, pick 3. This isn't the one we did, huh? No. Kamara, DeAndre Swift, Javonte Williams, Stephon Diggs, DK Metcalf, or CeeDee Lamb.
3 running backs. Right?
Probably. Gosh.
This is how keeper works. I mean, the running backs are replaced. Wide receiver. I mean, DK Metcalf's not going to be a redraft wide receiver 1 next year. Stephon Diggs, maybe, but I think he's going to be more. I mean, he's not going to be a top 5 redraft wide receiver like he was this year. He hasn't been top 5. So I don't know why he would move up next year. So he's probably going to move down in redraft. And then CeeDee Lamb, I mean, he'll probably actually be the highest of these receivers in redraft. It'll be close between him and Diggs. Metcalf will be last.
I'd like to find a way to keep him, to be honest. I might keep Lamb, Swift, and Williams.
If you have to, no, I still want to keep Kamara in redraft. I think Kamara has 1 year left of being whatever high-end running back, which is irreplaceable.
It might depend on my draft position.
3 keepers redraft. 3 keepers redraft. It's not dynasty. It's redraft. So you're asking redraft. So I'm going to play the players that I would pick the highest to me 3 running backs.
Yeah, Ed says I think it's not the best time to sell J-Rob.
Someone injured because you sell them and then you get something else to use. There's nothing wrong with that. Someone injured, you're just sitting there. I hate to buy anyone injured. I'm fine selling them.
Eric wants to know, just wondering if it's a time where you can just sell what you can before he becomes dust.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Eric on this one. Like I said,
Yep.
I'm not waiting for Robinson to come back.
Oh, Eric, looks like Eric agrees with me. Tossing Kamara back.
Yeah, but it's for 3 keepers redraft. So I'm still going to want Kamara.
Ed says I sold J-Rob too early. Personally, I sold him early in his rookie year because he was undrafted. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff that's built into his analysis. That is, he was gonna be my favorite. Like I couldn't wait to draft him over the offseason.
This offseason, he was going to be one of my startup targets for sure.
Me too.
But no.
Eric, would you start Damian Harris over Aaron Jones if Stevenson is out again?
No. It would be close, but no. I'd still start Aaron Jones.
Pick 3, full PPR, Cooks, Gallup, St. Brown, AJ Brown, T. Higgins.
Well, I mean, AJ Brown and T. Higgins are must plays, and then I'll go with Amon-Ra.
I love Amon-Ra.
We can talk about Amon-Ra. I mean, people are saying sell, and I'm saying not so fast.
Does he leap into the let's say like wide receiver 3 type category for you, or where is he?
He's already there.
Yeah. Over Tony?
Not over Tony.
No,
I still believe in Tony.
Okay.
Tony has the first round capital, and Tony actually again comes back off weeks injured and leads the team in targets. Tony's problem is not Tony. Tony's problem is the rest of the team. And I heavily believe that Tony is going to get it together because he's been playing great. He's great. Every time he plays, he's great. He's not the problem. He's playing well. So Tony's going to be someone I'm going to be targeting in startups, targeting in trades. He's going to be someone I'm interested in. Very interested.
Okay, but you saw the report as a Giant fan and, and all that.
They can say that as many times as they want, but if Russell Wilson is available in a trade, Russell Wilson will be on the team. That's what is going to happen. So I don't care what they said. They can say that, but doesn't mean anything.
Eric agrees. Amon-Ra, Higgins.
Yeah, it wasn't a hard decision. I think most people would come to the same answer.
Yeah. Jackson Superflex, half PPR, traded Rondale Moore, first pick and second pick in 2022 for Lamb and the 6th pick. So this is all first round picks.
Are we saying Moore 101, 102 for Lamb and the 6th and 106? Okay. Let's see. So, man, this is.
I like it.
It's risky. It's risky because if there end up being 2 really good quarterbacks, then you lost this deal. I mean, what would you rather have right now in Superflex? 101 and Rondale Moore or CeeDee Lamb? I think that's pretty close. And then I'd rather have the 2nd pick over the 6th pick. By a lot.
I feel like I would want. I mean, look, I love Rondale Moore too, but I mean, I feel like I'd rather see
Moore's not the point. It's more like I get it, but how? I mean, CeeDee Lamb is what in Superflex, early 2nd round startup pick. Where do you think the 101 is going to be?
If somehow CeeDee Lamb was available for you to draft that 101, I think you would take him.
Right, but that's not the point. Where do you think the 101 is? Well, no. Where do you think the 101 is going to rank in a startup? Generally, where does the 101 in Super? It's never outside the top 2 rounds. Never. It's always
true.
So if you look at it that way, then it's the pick side. It hurts, but these are the kind of. I get it. If you need a quarterback, the value is actually on the pick side. I know that sounds crazy, but it's not. Trust me on this one.
Eric, crazy thinking about Barkley's situation. Feels like a reality check that this could very well be reality for some of the 2023 running back darlings like Bijan or Gibbs. Yeah, like
no,
I think them as locks, but Barkley is a little bit of a
no. Barkley was every bit what they said he would be, every bit, and then he got injured, and injuries ruined his career. That can happen to anybody. Not worried about not worried about this. Injuries can happen to anyone.
Eric, another thought. Davis Mills is looking average despite a terrible Texans organization, yet T-Law gets every excuse in the book for looking horrendous. Man needs some blame as well for his struggles. I've been mentioning this over and over. David Culley, I think, is a good football coach. That team is playing very hard.
David Culley is not a good coach.
He is clearly a
How
very
is he a good coach?
Look at the way the team is playing with like no talent. He is out there winning games. They're like
his team is a disaster.
His team is a disaster.
No, he's being saved by Davis Mills, who's actually playing well.
God.
No. I don't like David Culley as a coach at all. I never have. And nothing I've seen from him this year has made me think that his play calling is responsible. What I see is Davis Mills succeeding in a terrible situation because he's good. That's what I see personally. Mm-hmm. I see him succeeding in spite of bad personnel and bad coaching and a bad general manager. So that's actually what I see there. In terms of Trevor Lawrence, the excuses are no good. The problem is that a lot of other rookie quarterbacks, what about the other excuses? I mean, it's bad on top of bad on top of bad. I mean, Justin Fields his rookie season has been a complete disaster as well. Zach Wilson, just as bad, if not worse, probably much worse. And Trey Lance couldn't even beat out Garoppolo. Mac Jones has been good, I guess. Not for fantasy, but for real life.
I cannot imagine Davis Mills starting for the Texans next year.
Oh, I can. Oh, why not?
I can't see them doing that.
I'll bet you it will happen. I bet you that's exactly what I'll bet you. That's what I think is gonna happen. I'll bet you.
Interesting.
I would say it's more likely than not.
Will says the biggest failure this year, the entire New York Football Giants disorganization.
Yeah.
I don't think their expectations were high is the only reason why.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. They need to eliminate everyone, but they won't.
I don't think they're going to. Highway robbery to get Lamb and 106.
Well, I mean, if it's 101 and 102, then it's not. But if it's 101 in a second, then obviously. I think there's some confusion about what we're talking about here.
P2 Thar.
I will say, people undervalue 101, 102, 103. Those picks are worth way more than people think. People don't get it. And they never will. Until the draft comes, then they'll get it. When the quarterbacks are there to pick, they'll understand how much those picks are worth. But until then, they won't get it.
P2 Thar wants to know what he should get or try to get for Travis Etienne.
You got to get at least the first, probably more in a 1 QB at this point. That's what he's worth.
I feel like I would take just a first.
You would, but that's selling low.
Yeah, I think that let's see. Here's a couple trades that just pulled up. I don't love a lot of these examples. Looks like people sort of basically using him as a trade to someone that missed the playoffs to try to win now, which is fine. If you can use him for that, do it. But here's Etienne, a first and a second for Chubb.
Seems heavy.
Does. Etienne, I don't like any of these trades. These aren't good examples. Yeah, I would settle for a first if I had to and be happy.
I think you can get more.
BJ Lee, who could you trade DJ Moore for after the season?
You're not going to trade DJ Moore. You're never going to get the value that I want. So don't even bother to try. DJ Moore is a strong hold and a very solid buy, but not a sell. You're wasting your time selling DJ Moore.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to get. You're not going to be able to get even like the 6 or 7, 8 players who have a lower ADP than him. Like you're just not even going to be able to get that.
Yeah, don't sell DJ Moore. Hang on to him.
Yeah, you cannot trade him. Mag. Any value left in Curtis Samuel?
No.
Nope. Done.
No.
Interesting. Jackson says Flory reported about a month ago Etienne is healthy right now, but was put in a season-ending IR.
See, I mean, healthy and the same player are not the same. Saquon Barkley was healthy at the start of this season. He was ready to go. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if he is healthy. But I will say that the track record of rookies who come into the NFL who lose their entire first season to injury is terrible, no matter what the injury is.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter. It's a torn ACL. Like, if you don't, it really helps to get a foothold in the NFL somehow before getting hurt. The history of people who have this career trajectory is really bad. Think of them. I mean, Kevin White, like Corey Davis missed most of his first year to injury. Mike Williams, finally 5 years later.
Mikel LaSure was a Darius Geis. Geis, yeah, there were the legal issues, but we had a whole other year where he didn't get on the field before the legal issues. And then he was still not healthy after that. So just the trajectory of these players is not good. That Liz Frank injury.
It's bad. I mean, it's bad. It's
not good.
It's not good. I mean, we're talking on the level of an ACL minimum.
More. I would say worse.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. I'm looking, I don't see much about his recovery here.
It's just that, like I said,
I don't see the Florio report.
The track record, I didn't see that.
Mm-mm.
So I haven't heard that. So we'll see.
Maybe I'm just not. I'm looking fast while I'm trying to do all this, but yeah, I would love to hear a good report about him, but we'll see. A lot of difficult questions for him, even if the injury is, like, you made the point a bunch, like the person who overpaid for him in the real life NFL draft is no longer with the organization.
True.
So what is the incoming coach going to think about him?
Did you see also that there was a sleeper alert this morning that said, and I'll quote this: Jaguars to retain general manager Trent Baalke for some reason.
I love it.
That was funny.
I love it. Sleeper's becoming one of my favorite. Like, I just love Sleeper now.
I think that was an NBC Sports Edge blurb, though, that they Okay. I don't think that was.
I don't like that original. As much. Yeah. Cat Zero, another one of my favorite YouTube names. Is Judy someone we should be out on, or should we be trying to buy low this offseason?
Yeah, he's in the excuse camp. What are his excuses? I mean, I guess I can tell you what they are, but yeah, I'm not pleased.
I cannot wait to see what happens to his ADP, because here's the thing. Like, we don't know who his quarterback's going to be, so that's one of the things that's going to matter here. But I could see, like, if they add somebody who's a superstar, I could see his ADP getting way too high. If they don't add a superstar and they have somebody, Teddy B again, or they have like Andy Dalton or something ridiculous like that as their quarterback, like, I could see it being too low. You still would value him as their best receiver, right?
Well, I certainly don't want Noah Kant.
Right.
Or Cortland always injured. So right. I don't want them.
I'm fascinated by him this offseason and see what happens there.
Albert O did it again this week. I believe, or no, this week he didn't do that.
Luke Jukum, to clarify, and I think DK is bad. Just wondering if he is actually a top 5-10 wide receiver or someone we should be trying to cash out.
Patience.
I'm definitely nervous about the situation, but I just don't think he's the kind of wide receiver that's going to need the perfect quarterback or the perfect situation.
Me neither.
And if it's a bad team and they have to throw a lot, that might not be a terrible thing for him.
Yeah.
BJ Lee, also, would you trade away, or what would you trade away, to acquire DJ Chark?
You just don't see me trading for players like DJ Chark. It's just not the way I play. I've considered drafting DJ Chark, but when you trade for a player like DJ Chark, you're always going to overpay. The only way I ever get DJ Chark if it's by accident. It's a make weight or something. Just Mm-hmm. I'd take him for a couple of thirds, but you're not going to get him for that.
I like the idea of DJ Chark more than I like DJ Chark. I like the idea that he could be Trevor Lawrence's number one option with, I don't know.
Yeah, or he could be on a different team.
Right.
So we have no idea with DJ Chark.
Yeah, Ed still loves Judy, but can see why people will start to question it. They need a quarterback. Just keep hoping that Russ, Watson, Rodgers want to be a mile high. Bring it.
Well, I don't know why they would, but we'll see.
Don't forget to bring a towel.
I think they should be excited for Jordan Love next year. How about that? I think that's what they should do. The Broncos, Jordan Love as the quarterback. That would be very interesting.
What if Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams go to Denver? Make it happen.
With Judy coming back to Green Bay. Wouldn't that be interesting if they traded Jordan Love for Jerry Jeudy? How about that? They traded Jordan Love for Jerry Jeudy and put Jerry Jeudy on the Packers. Would you like Jerry Jeudy then?
Maybe, but Packers don't do that. They don't bring in people.
Well, that's what I would do if I were the Packers. Trade Jordan Love away for Jerry Jeudy.
Just not a Packers move.
Well,
yeah,
that's why they haven't won anything in 11 years.
It's true. If Ramondre is out, Damian Harris, Gibson, or Javonte?
Harris, whether Ramondre's out or not.
I don't like Gibson's injury. I'm not playing him.
Gibson is a no. And Javonte after last week is a no-go. Not with luck.
Or Jeff Wilson.
Still Harris.
Let's say Mitchell is out.
Still Harris.
Still Harris? Okay.
Yeah.
Damon, thanks, Eric, leaning that way, but okay, yeah. Leaning towards Gibson. I'm not. I'm worried about. I heard Stefania Bell talking about his injury, and it's different than it's
Gibson is
all
a no.
year.
Gibson's a no-go for me.
I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite topic, Juju Smith-Schuster. What's the dream scenario for most dynasty value for Juju? I believe he's a free agent. He is a free agent.
Wherever he signs, get him off your team that day.
Trade away. This is a must sell.
There's no difference between Juju and Tyler Boyd other than Juju's name.
All right.
That's it.
All right.
The only difference.
What if? Let me see. What's a good team? Who's a team that has no wide receivers? The Saints. Okay. Saints have no wide receiver. All right. Let's say the Saints bring in, they keep Jameis Winston and they bring in Antonio Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster.
Right.
Those free agents. His value would be high.
So then I'll draft Antonio Brown as a wide receiver 1 next year and Juju at somewhere in wide receiver 5 range.
Yeah.
Where he belongs.
I would love to see them pair up again.
Like that's ever going to happen. Remember that Antonio Brown is the one who came up with Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to see it.
That's not a me original. That's an Antonio Brown original.
Yeah, like a WWE wrestler. Like at the end of their career, they end up teaming up with someone you would never expect.
I don't want to start with Juju. I've had enough. Yep. He can be someone else's problem.
Dream scenario is Juju go back in time when he was with Pittsburgh with Antonio Brown. Yeah, almost the same thing I said, Eric.
Yeah, I don't want Juju.
1-6 gonna net you a Garrett Wilson type. Yeah, I'm not sure about all these. This is going back to that Rondale Moore question. Damon says, as a Giants fan, it's sad. Saquon looks scared to run. I don't know if he looks scared. I just don't know if he has it.
He doesn't have it. You know, when you used to be really good and then you're not really good anymore, sometimes you still think you can do what you could do before, but he can't.
It needs to be on a team with a wide receiver. I just don't even think, even with that, like he was with one last year.
Yeah, and how did that go?
Davis Mills is there in one more year. I just don't know.
I think he has. There's just nobody in this class that's that great.
This feels like recency bias.
Fair.
Whatever. Like he had a good game against the Chargers.
He's been okay. Like all things considered, he's
12
been
touchdowns, 9 interceptions.
He's been, considering what he's had to work with, he's actually been good. Like the fact that he's above water on touchdowns versus interceptions, completing 2/3 of his passes. I mean, honestly, that's good. Rookie, 3rd round rookie with his weapons, those are good numbers. That is way exceeding expectations. I think that he will be the 2022 week 1 starter. I really do. I do. I think this reminds me a little bit of Gardner Minshew. I don't know, it's like after his first year. I'm not saying Davis Mills holds the job long term. I actually think he does not. I do not think that he's the franchise quarterback, but I think he's next year's quarterback. Personally, I do.
Man, he did throw for over 300 yards one time.
No, he's not bad. He's been serviceable. You can't deny that he's been serviceable.
Yeah, but I just
think that I honestly think that he's one of the best 32 quarterbacks available.
Deshaun Watson, we think gets traded this offseason, yes?
I would hope so.
So you're saying they're not getting another quarterback back in that trade?
In the destinations that he'd be going, they're not.
I think they're
Where's he going that a quarterback's coming back?
I don't know. There was there's all kind of weird rumors. I don't know.
I think that they might have to take Sam Darnold's contract, but that's the kind of quarterback that's coming back. And I think Davis Mills would start.
I think Sam Darnold's better than Davis Mills.
But I think Davis Mills would start first. It would be a little bit like some of the situations we've had in the past where they're going to start with Mills and then they would yank him if he fails.
Ed agrees.
I said this too. I guess the DLF podcast this week, so I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I guess I'm the one that's off here. I just think that's crazy talk.
I think that the general consensus is leaning toward Mills being the starter, but it's just leaning.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I'm 100% sure, but I'm leaning that way, whereas I wasn't before. I was leaning the other way before, but now I'm leaning that way.
They do have many. Well, the thing is, if there is a quarterback early who is a franchise quarterback, you take him.
Right, but they won't be available to. But if the problem is that if there's a quarterback that's that great, they're going to Detroit. And I'm not sure there's going to be more than one.
Right. I agree. Teams don't always do it. Makes sense. Yeah. At least not to us. It makes sense to them.
Yeah.
Dynasty Superflex 12-man. Should I take a third for Penny right now to a contender in the playoffs?
Just a third? No, I'd just hang on to Penny at that point. A third, what does that do for you?
It doesn't do anything.
On that. Just in case Penny is now starting a career. A third is just not good enough. Second, I would take for sure, but not a third.
I just want more than a third.
Well, 2/3 I'd consider.
Second. I'd take a 2024 second.
I'm just going to need a second. 2/3, maybe I'd think about it. 1/3, no.
Right. Yeah, I don't care if it's in the future, but I need a second. Something that's got some value.
A second would help. Yeah. Would be good. Yeah.
What's Chris Carson's draft?
Carson has no value. I'd rather have Penny
for Carson.
Yeah, I'd rather have Penny than Carson.
Yeah.
Carson has no value. I'm not even giving up a third for Carson. I'd give up a fourth for Carson. Yeah. That's your answer.
Damon wants to know thoughts on DJ Shark. We talked about him.
Possible, but I'm not relying on it.
I feel like he's the kind of wide receiver that if he changes teams, we just never hear relevance of him ever again.
I'd rather have Chark than Chenault. I just think Chenault is not it.
I feel like Chenault with the right system coordinator, or whatever.
One season where he was relevant, actually fantasy relevant, high-end wide receiver 2 relevant. Chenault has no such relevance whatsoever. Nothing. There's nothing on the profile that says he's actually going to do anything. Whereas Chark at least has done it before. Give me the guy who's done it, who's done something.
Ed has sold DJ Moore when someone came banging on my door saying they needed him.
That's how I feel about DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, Eric agrees. Not actively.
Yeah, we're all kind of in the same place on that. Seems like.
40 people watching, only 3 come.
Oh yeah, don't forget to like the video, guys. Like and subscribe.
Subscribe, all that.
To be fair, people are really subscribing to this channel because I've noticed the subscriber numbers have gone way up. So I appreciate everyone who's subscribed. Mm-hmm. I never know why I can't get that out.
Getting very close to the end here. We'll take just a few more. Ed has a lot of
this
Noah
is championship week. I'm good with giving people a good bit of bonus time. This is championship week. After this, after this week, we will probably stick to more of the hard 90 minutes during the off season. But it's championship week. I'll give you guys some bonus time.
Eric said,
go back to that. No, it can't. Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. Give him a like. It's a favorite live stream. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate that. Appreciate you tuning in and helping out here in the comments. Yeah, just gonna hold and hope something happens. Can't sell them.
Yeah,
I want DJ Moore. I agree. BJ says, thanks for the help, guys. Thank you for tuning in and asking.
I like doing this.
Yep. Always leads a good conversation. So Robots take a third for Penny right now to a contender in the playoffs.
We went over that with Penny.
Yeah. Hold drop. Okay. So I just think, yes, hold on to Penny for a third. Trade Carson for a third.
Yeah, I agree.
Eric.
Yeah. We're all on the same page on Carson.
Yes. Let's see. I'd sell Carson for a Chipotle burrito bowl. Me too.
I don't know if I'd go that far. But
Cat Zero, plan of action, buy or sell on Chase Claypool. Does he get extra points for being Mapletron?
He's not a buy. Sell, I guess so. Then I guess if it's buy or sell, he's a sell. He's more of an avoid to me. I'd rather not get into Chase. I don't want to get into the Chase Claypool business. So that means he's not a buy. If I already have Chase Claypool, I'd look to sell, but I have not had any success in doing so. So I guess he's a hold. He is not a buy. I am not interested. Period.
Oh, people loved him so much coming into the year.
Myself being one of them, but I didn't realize how much of, honestly, a head case he is. And I don't want that on my team. I just don't want that on my team. I don't want someone who just does not seem interested in becoming one of the best receivers in the NFL. He just doesn't seem interested in that. And I don't want that on my team. I don't want that. I want other people on my team. So I'm always going to go another way. If I go take Chase Claypool, I'm going to go another way.
1 touchdown this season.
And I think there is some regression for him. It's less even about the numbers here. It's more just like, I just don't like him. And I don't like him. I don't think the Steelers like him. And I don't think Mike Tomlin likes him. So I think that, and this isn't me saying I don't want players to be fun. This is me saying I think that he's in danger of being benched or punished by Tomlin. And I don't want a player who's going to be punished or benched. How does that go with Ronald Jones? Not well. So I'm a little worried about Chase Claypool.
Okay, interesting question, Luke Jukum. Based on just right now, we haven't spent much time on the incoming rookies, but which 2021 rookies are you willing to give up the 2022 101 for in Superflex?
Cool. So this is essentially asking which quarterbacks from this class would I prefer over the 101. I'd certainly prefer to have Lawrence still over anybody in this rookie class.
Me too.
Fields and Lance, I think those are going to be close. I mean, the odds, there might be a player I prefer in this class, might not. Fields and Lance are close. And I'd rather have the 101 over either Jones or Wilson. Jones is just not high enough of an upside. Jones is never going to be a dynasty quarterback 1, I don't think. He's going to live in that quarterback 2 range. And Wilson, obviously, of course not. Wilson is nowhere near. But
Davis Mills, though.
No. But I think that the 101 Fields and Lance have similar value, although Lance might be about to blow the doors off. Yeah. If he comes in and is good this week, I know it's against Houston, but if he comes in and is good these last 2 weeks, he'll be worth more than the 101.
I would take Fields and Lance pretty comfortably over the 101 right now, but mainly
it's
because
risky, though. All the risk is with the players The pick, actually, it's funny. People are going to hear me say that, and they're going to be like, you're wrong, right? I mean, you're wrong. The risk is with the player. The risk is with the pick because you don't know what it'll be. But that's actually the exact opposite. There's a lot less risk because you have your choice of anything. That's actually much less risky than going with one player. It's much riskier. So it's actually the other way around.
I'm a little hesitant on quarterback right now in the 2022 draft, just because when I was watching Bruce Mattson did a way too early Superflex mock draft right here on the YouTube channel. You can go check that out. He took a running back first overall, and that kind of makes me think, maybe the quarterbacks aren't great. But
the thing is, you don't have to pick the quarterback now because we don't know who is going to go 101 or 102. Once you have the NFL draft, then you know. So then it's easy to pick the right one. Whereas you have to pick the quarterback now, it's a lot harder. Whereas the running back is easier. You know who that's going to be. So it's a little more challenging. But I would say there's a good chance that there's not a quarterback I prefer over Lance or Fields. But I bet I'll prefer one over Jones. I'm actually sure I'll prefer one over Jones.
Matthew says thoughts on T. Higgins. We did talk about both of these players, Higgins and Stevenson, a little bit. Higgins, Tyler has at the number 9 wide receiver. In
9, yes.
Stevenson, you said you're kind of back to back with him and Harris.
Yeah, I'm fine with him.
We're gonna spend a lot of time arguing about him. I don't mean me and you. I just mean like the Dynasty fantasy football
I think
community.
if Harris balls out these last 2 weeks, and then there's a big price gap between Harris and Stevenson, I'm going to prefer Stevenson if he's cheaper.
Ed still believes in Claypool more than most.
It's hard to believe in Claypool.
They're gonna have a hard time quarterback wise. I think finding a good quarterback if Ben retires, and if he doesn't retire, it's worse.
Oh, that's much worse. They're better off with anyone else.
Will is going Kupp, Higgins, Monty, Aaron Jones, Chase, AJ Brown, and benching DK and Gibson in the final.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. Keep Chase in there. Keep Kupp. Keep AJ Brown.
This is our last Taco Tuesday in 2021.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So
Didn't realize
sad.
it until this comment, but it's true.
Let's see. Grant, I won this must be correcting.
Congratulations. I don't know.
Yeah. Congrats on the win, Grant.
Yeah.
Autocorrect. I'm not sure what happened there. He is interested in music at practice. Claypool. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind players having fun either. My thing is like he fell off the map at the end of last year in a way people don't realize because he had so many touchdowns early on. Touchdown regression came back hard for him this year.
Yeah.
It's me, Yeppers. I'm one of the thumbs up and a subscriber. Appreciate that, Yeppers. What are you offering right now for Russ if you need a quarterback?
Just not buying Russ. He's a couple more bad games away from having his value tank. I don't buy players like that. So, yeah, I'm never going to pay what he's going to cost. So I'll take a pass on Russ.
He feels like he is done with Seattle.
Well, I don't know. He's done with Seattle. That we know, but I guess you could buy him low on the idea that his value is going to go up when he leaves. But what's he going to cost in Superflex? 2 firsts? And I don't know if I still want to pay that. Maybe it's too late firsts. Still willing to pay it.
The most recent trades involving Russell Wilson. We've got Russell Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, Foster Moreau for Joe Burrow and David Njoku. Yes, take the Joe Burrow side.
Burrow side.
Let's see. Ooh, this is an interesting one. This is a couple weeks ago. But still, Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, a second for Mac Jones, AJ Brown, and Cortland Sutton. Interesting. That's pretty even.
Pretty even, actually. Yeah, almost exactly.
Yep. I bet the value on that looks really close. Grant got offered Waddle and a first for Dalvin Cook. Take it. Yes.
Waddle's worth more than Cook already.
Yes. Take it. If they start offering fantasy point for TikTok dances, Juju and Claypool will shoot up draft boards.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Who else will be on that? I don't know,
but sure.
Those are the top 2 picks for sure. Eric Waddle side. Yeah. There's going to be a QB in 2022 that hits, and people are going to look silly passing on him.
I think the problem right now is, I agree with you. There's going to be a quarterback that hits and jumps up to the top of the draft board. People are just, They don't get it. They don't get that just because they can't name him right now means that the 101 is very risky. It's not risky. There's going to be someone, and we just don't. The fact that we don't know who it is gives you a great value opportunity on the 101. I totally agree with that.
I love this comment. Jacob Calloway, Tyler, you're kind of this great man. You changed the way I think about Dynasty. You do really good work, man. This is so true. You don't get enough credit for that. And I genuinely mean it every time I've said I have learned, even though like you were born when I was in like ready to graduate high school, practically, you have changed the way in a lot of ways that I think about it too. I mean, I agree. I agree with Jacob here. Great comment.
I appreciate that. I do get a good amount of positive feedback, so I don't want people to think that I don't. But yeah, I mean that's what I try to do, right? Is change the way people think. I mean, I have a whole Patreon for that, and that's what I do on this show. I'm always me, so hopefully it helps people out.
Robert just got here. You thinking that you could sell Claypool for a late 2022 first?
I probably would. But
I think I would.
Can you though?
But I think I'd rather get a player. I just think I'd rather try to trade him for somebody that I'm higher on maybe than most or something like that.
I don't even know.
I don't have Claypool anywhere because I was never a Claypool believer. So I have him nowhere.
I don't know if you can even do that though.
Yeah. Ed agrees. Great compliment from Jacob there. Tyler Reeves in a Superflex. With me having Burrow and Mac Jones, is that good, or should I be looking for someone else instead of Mac Jones?
If that's all you have, that's not good enough. So it's not instead of, it's in addition to.
Mm-hmm.
Like that can't be all you have. You need someone else.
Yeah, I agree. What could you get for Mac Jones right now in a trade?
What
about players, not just picks. Let's talk about players.
In Superflex?
Yeah, Superflex.
I don't know. I usually don't trade quarterbacks for players like that.
That's true. And you have to get a quarterback back.
Yeah.
Mac Jones and a first for Justin Fields and Michael Thomas.
Ooh. Superflex? I'll take Jones and a first.
Interesting. Here we go. 14-team league, Superflex, Mac Jones and Saquon Barkley for Jalen Hurts, Devonta Freeman, and Aaron Jones.
Oh. That's close. I'll take I don't want either of those sides. I guess I'll take Jalen Hurts, but
Jalen Hurts or the 101 in 2022.
Ooh. I'll take the 101.
No, I want Hurts.
I'll take my chances. I'll take my chances with. I think I've kind of come to the conclusion actually, because I have my dynasty rankings: Lance, Fields, Hurts, and I think the 101 is in between Fields and Hurts. I think I'd rather Lance and Fields, but not Hurts. Hurts just a little risky for me. Didn't look good this last week either. They won, but he didn't look good. He's a little risky for me. Without the draft capital, the job can be taken at any time. I think I'll take the 101 and I can draft someone who's taken the top 5.
Jacob Calloway, DeAndre Hopkins in a first for Jalen Waddle.
Tough on a first, really, because I don't know if that's the 101, then no.
Right.
But let's say we're talking random 2023 first, because there are no random 2022s anymore. Random 2023 first, I would take Waddle.
Wow. Yeah, I guess that's true. Man, D-Hop is falling.
But soon we're gonna not have, and I'm literally looking forward to this. Soon we're not gonna have random 2022 firsts. Right. We're gonna have. So also try to give us numbers on that. At this point, you should know. You should know what 2022 first we're talking about.
Yep.
Or just say 2023 then.
But yes, this makes your roster better.
Yeah.
In general, unless it's an early pick, like you said.
Oh, yeah.
What could I get for Tyler Boyd? Okay, I looked up Tyler Boyd on the Trade Finder, dynastyfootball.com.
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd or Allen Robinson?
Robinson.
Tyler Boyd or Anthony Schwartz?
Boyd.
Tyler Boyd or Keenan Allen?
Allen.
Oh, Tyler Boyd and... Oh, go ahead.
No, these are not These are not close.
These are Tyler Boyd and Chase Edmonds for a 2023 first.
Interesting. I mean, in a super flex, I get doing that. You're getting one really big asset for two meh.
Mm-hmm.
In a 1 QB, that's probably about spot on value wise. I'd rather the first given the way I play, but value wise, it's fine. Super flex is easily the first.
Yeah, that's mostly
still the first.
Does not seem like there are any great Tyler Boyd trades here.
Yeah, Boyd at this point is probably worth about a second.
Mm-hmm.
But again, so soon, sometime in January, what I do is I put rookie picks into my rankings, so I'll be able to spot value exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Give you a number on what he's worth.
Eric says easily Waddle every time. Buy Waddle. Give up your right leg for Waddle.
I guarantee I'm going to be in on Waddle.
The best touchdown celebration in football.
Waddle.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Luke Jukum, thoughts on Dee Williams this week with the Clyde Edwards injury?
No, I think the offense will be better with him in the game. I have him at RB14. Now, actually, on the Fantasy Footballers podcast, I believe it was a Fantasy Footballers podcast. Tell me if I'm wrong about this, but they actually made a good point, which is that oftentimes teams have two running backs that they trust, and they split the work between the two running backs. But they don't trust the running back 3 at all. So when the running back 1 gets hurt, the running back 2 actually takes over all of the work because they only trust 2 guys. So when the A goes away, they give all of it to B. Like originally it's 60-40 in favor of A, but now with A gone, B actually gets like 85. Or so I actually prefer Darrell Williams than I did CEH beforehand. I think this is that situation because I don't think they trust Derek Gore at all other than mop-up duty. So Darrell Williams, I said RB14, and given he's right behind Ronald Jones at this point, and if Ronald Jones gets more bad news, I think, he's going to cap out at 13 or so, 14 for me, but that's a must start really at running back, right? 13.
Yeah, I think Darrell Williams and, random somebody Dare Ungabawale is going to bring
Ungabawale is playing against New England. So New England is a no for me for Ungabawale. Yeah. He's a pass, but
Belichick's going to shut him down.
But it's crazy that I have Darrell Williams at RB14 for the week and Saquon Barkley at RB24. That's where we are.
Jacob says if the values in a draft is unknown, if you don't know where the value is going to come from looking back, does it make more sense to trade the 101 to have multiple bullets in the draft year?
Value dependent. If you get the value for it, sure. If you don't, then no. Like
I don't fully understand the question.
No, I think he's asking, how do you feel about trading the 101 for multiple?
Like if we don't know who's going to be there and what the value is that what it is?
Yeah, but my answer to that question is I have a chart for that. If you sign up for my Patreon, I'll give it to you. Otherwise, you just have to deal with whatever I tell you on this show and my best guess. But I can tell you'd be able to see from my rankings if you wanted to do this or not.
Oh, I love the questions coming in right here. We are in overtime, but hey, I'm going to keep going as long as you guys. Yeah, it's championship week. As long as you guys keep asking questions, we'll keep going. Eric says, wait until
until later to move the 101. But of course, if you get a massive overpay early, take it. But I wouldn't actively seek to move it. A good offer you get for the 101 early is going to be sent to you, not going to be something you get.
Cat Zero, am I crazy to want to trade Christian McCaffrey for Jalen
Also, let me say one
Waddle?
other thing about that with the 101. Trying to trade it reduces the value of it. If you just pretend that you're not interested in trading it, then the value of the pick will go up. Trust me on that one. Sometimes not working helps you.
Yeah, in your league chat, post like how excited you are about the pick. Like you can't wait to make the pick.
Transparent. People can see through that. Just say nothing.
Oh, so glad you are the biggest 2022 first overall pick fan in the world. You're a truther. You're a 2022.
I'll make sure that the people know.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about this question here from Cat Zero. Am I crazy to want to trade Christian McCaffrey for Jalen Waddle?
You're not crazy, but
I'm gonna say a little, and not because I wouldn't. I'm I might would want to have Waddle, but I don't think straight up is getting great value.
I agree with you.
This Waddle thing could get a little out of hand.
I'd rather have McCaffrey.
Waddle, let's see, because right now he's at 29 overall. You would probably have him a little higher, huh?
I have him at 15.
15 overall. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. You have him over Saquon Barkley?
I have Saquon Barkley at 34, man.
Woo. Okay.
And honestly, that's too high. He doesn't just, what has he done to deserve being at 34? He should be more at like 134.
Wow.
If Saquon Barkley were named John Smith, he would be at 134. Seriously.
What would be too high for Waddle? You got him at 15. That's already pretty high. If he was starting to go,
I mean, look, first round capital, top 6th overall pick, producing like this. What is he? Second in the league in receptions as a rookie? I don't think that's too high. Can you see him the only reason he's not top 5 is because people didn't like him as a rookie. They didn't like his rookie profile. That's the only reason. If he had the rookie profile of Jamar Chase, he'd be the wide receiver 3. It's the only reason is because somebody told them that his rookie profile was no good.
Woo. Okay. Could you see him overtaking DK Metcalf?
It's not that far off from overtaking DK Metcalf.
Tyreek Hill?
Age. Yeah. Could see it. He's still behind Tyreek for me.
So you think he's still not even at a ceiling here?
No. I think his ceiling, I think that he's going to struggle to ever overtake Jefferson, Chase, and Lamb because they're all younger than him. All also have first round capital and all also have produced and all had better college profiles. So they have every advantage.
Yeah.
But so I think wide receiver 4 is his ceiling in Dynasty for the near future.
Waddle or Kyle Pitts?
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, me too.
For the positional difference.
We're still good. 12-man Superflex. How would you rank Elijah Moore, Bateman, and Judy?
Moore first, Judy second, Bateman third.
Yeah. Moore first, space between.
Correct. Yeah. Judy and Bateman are closer to each other than they are to Moore. Moore is way higher.
Yep.
And also the only reason that I prefer Judy over Bateman is there's a chance Judy's situation would change. We know Bateman's is not going to. So if Judy is in this situation again, he'd be lower than Bateman.
Yeah. Yeah. Judy could end up like, man, gosh.
Yeah. No. Judy's price is dependent on the situation changing. The only reason Bateman is low is we know it's not going to change.
Yeah. Jacob wants to know if you're going after Cam Akers. Thoughts on fair value in terms of draft picks for Cam?
You can't get Cam Akers from me.
Man, I had the thought this week, like,
I'd rather have Cam Akers over Saquon Barkley, and I'm not looking back. Easily.
Yeah. Wow.
Easily. It's not close. I'd rather have Cam Akers. Easily. I'm not looking back.
Oh, look. First trade I pulled up on the trade finders. Cam Akers for Saquon Barkley.
Cam Akers. Give me Cam Akers immediately.
Wow. Okay.
Why not? Saquon Barkley has failed to return from any of his injuries, and he's 2.5 years older. Cam Akers looked good more recently than Saquon Barkley. No, thank you. I'll take Cam Akers. Easy. Move on.
Cam Akers and Michael Carter for 2022 first.
Akers.
Wow. Cam Akers for Antonio Gibson in a third.
That's fair.
Yeah. So, man, you're going to be pretty high on him then.
Yes. I have Cam Akers at this will be crazy when we actually tally it. Dynasty running back 12.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I think he could get a lot of helium this offseason, and
he's going to get a lot of helium this week.
The worst thing that can happen to him is seeing the field for his dynasty value. I think if he sees the field for his dynasty value and there's anything that like it can only go bad for him.
It just takes one run.
I know
one run.
Yeah. I just think
he wasn't supposed to play in these games.
I know.
Nobody expected him to come back this year.
Yeah.
He did one good thing, and that's a victory over where we were.
Mm-hmm.
J.K. Dobbins has been sitting out the whole time, and no one's worried about him. Cam Akers comes back and shows you anything. I have full confidence that he's an RB1 next year. Shows me anything. Full confidence, no doubt.
If he has 6 rushes for 4 yards in his return,
I just need to see him play.
I think his value is going to be suppressed. It can only hurt him, I guess, is what I'm saying.
No.
Not that he cares about his dynasty.
Second he takes the field, I think it helps. Because then we knew he comes back. We know he came back. We know he was able to suit up for an NFL game after an Achilles tear, which, I mean, people are talking about Deonta Foreman 4 years later is not good enough. We're talking about 5 months later. Crazy. That's not possible.
No, it's insane. That's why I wonder if it's just not going to be like this explosive, amazing thing.
Nobody's expecting that. I'm not expecting that. I'd be happy if he takes 5 carries and gets 11 yards. I don't care.
Max says 12-team Superflex, tight end premium, Brandon Ayuk, AJ Dillon, and a second for Mark Andrews and Michael Gallup.
Andrews. This is a bunch of maybe. I don't want maybe. Give me Andrews.
And I kind of like Gallup. I mean, I like him enough that he's not like just a nothing.
Yeah, Gallup and Dillon are not that different. I'd rather have Dillon, but it's close.
I love what we got from Andrews this year.
This is Andrews easily and tight end premium. It's not close.
To me, like I can see him being the tight end 2. If you have him ranked right behind,
he is the tight end 2. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Yep. Darius, thoughts on Eckler for something like St. Brown and a first?
Yeah, I would do that. It's the kind of deal I'd be looking to make if I had Eckler.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Calvin Ridley for Amon-Ra?
Amon-Ra, easy. Not even close.
Also, am I stupid for not trading Javonte for 2 firsts and Tony Pollard?
No, you're not stupid. I mean, if those are the 101 and 102, I'll take that side. But give me some detail about what firsts these are.
Yeah, we should know by now. If this is like 110, 111.
Yeah, either give me details about what they are or tell me they're 2023.
I think Javonte is going to be a difference maker.
Agreed.
Running back.
Agreed.
If you're not going to be guaranteed to get someone who's going to be a difference maker for you, I'm not going to trade him. So
yeah, I gotta get good value for that.
Is Elijah Moore for Bateman and 2 late seconds too little for the Bateman package?
That's about right.
It's about.
But if it's late seconds, I'll take more.
I want more.
Yeah. If we're talking early seconds, it would be more interesting. But for late seconds, I'll take more.
Michael Bell is on Facebook. Thank you for watching us on Facebook. Doesn't Christian McCaffrey's value take a hit because of frequent injuries?
Oh,
it
absolutely.
Does.
I'll never. Christian McCaffrey has joined the group of Dalvin Cook before him, a player that will just never be on one of my teams. I'll never get another Christian McCaffrey share ever again because he's going to go too high for me. The fact that I have Christian McCaffrey and Jalen Waddle close at all is against consensus. Most people have Christian McCaffrey way higher than Jalen Waddle. So I will never have Christian McCaffrey again. I completely agree with you that his value is taking a hit because of frequent injuries, and he'll be 26 by the time he next takes the field, which is when, running back cliff is. So he'll never go up in value again. So
he's never going to go up in value again, but this is a decent offseason for him to not lose as much value as he probably should, just because of where the ages are for a lot of the running backs, like just kind of the running back landscape right now.
He's what I would call a committing pick. If you take him in a startup, it was like taking Travis Kelce in a startup this offseason. It's a pick so early that is guaranteed to decline in value. So you're committing to being a year 1 contender with that pick. It's a committing pick. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There are players who are like that. Kelce was last. Now he's a little bit lower, so you don't have to commit with him. But McCaffrey, Kamara, Cook, those are committing picks. You're committing to being a year 1 contender if you make those picks. Because you have to spend a top 2 pick on them.
But I do think I'm going to be trying to sell him in the offseason. Like,
I
think
agree with you. I'm just saying that keep in mind when you make that pick, it's not for the value. You're taking the rest of his career.
Right. Yep, exactly. Jacob Callaway, if there isn't a real front runner or difference in 101, 102,
We just don't
103,
know that. We don't know that yet.
Yeah.
People say, oh, there's not a front runner, there's not this, there's not that. They don't know that. Sometimes there's an early front runner like way in advance, like there was with Lawrence last year, Burrow the year before. But this year, there's not that. But it's possible, but by the time we close the draft, that there is.
But I think if it is somebody like that, we would already have that. We'd know who that is. Like we knew Trevor Lawrence 2 years out. We knew Andrew Luck 2 years out. Like I think
but this happens though. Like we'll see what happens. But no, I don't know who the 101 is today. Whereas I think we knew that every other year in Superflex. It was Lawrence last year. Burrow. I would have been able to tell you today. It was Lawrence last year, Burrow the year before, Kyler the year before that, and Barkley actually the year before that.
Right. And that's part of why.
Not a quarterback in that case.
And Jacob, I guess the biggest thing is that's part of why it'd be hard to make this move because you need somebody to want to trade up for someone in particular, I think.
Yeah. So I would wait then until that becomes more clear who that is. Yeah.
And I'm assuming you mean Superflex because you went to quarterback there.
Yeah, they must. If you're talking about luck.
I mean, like, gosh, like our Devy analysts still have Bryce Young up there at QB1 in terms of like Devy, which I think he's 2 years out, right?
Well, I think they've cleaned out the 2022 prospects at this point from Devy. No,
Matt Corral is still there.
Oh, so they haven't cleaned them out yet.
But like Matt Corral, like so let's say he ends up being the consensus Superflex 101, right? He's not going to have like if he has a season like Trevor Lawrence, he's not maintaining the same value as Trevor Lawrence.
No, but I think that that's
Matt
what
Corral,
I mean. Like, let's say he's a top 5 pick. You know, I think I told you where he would rank. I think he would rank behind Lance and Fields, but above Hurts, Stafford, Wilson, Mac Jones. You know, the older guys and uncertain guys. Low ceiling.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. There are. I just don't think they're. So yes,
but if you can like I know a lot about Matt Corral because he wasn't one of the top quarterbacks coming. It was, the quarterbacks I knew about going into the year that I was looking for did not really hit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see. You said Lance and Fields for the 101. What about Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, he's way lower. I have Deshaun Watson at quarterback 16.
So. Oh, really?
Yeah.
But if he's playing, he's not QB 16.
It's just risky, I think.
I mean, yeah, it is. But like, let me see.
I've started to also worry about the fact that these issues could reappear at any time. I don't think that the smoking gun is out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would know. But I also am not sure that these issues are closed. And I'm not sure they're going to be closed. Like, I think he's going to come to the field and the issues will not be closed. So if they're not closed, then I don't think that the Watson is banned for life evidence is out there. Mm-hmm. We know. But I also don't think that the exonerating evidence is there either. So I think we're going to have this sword over our head forever. So that's going to take Watson's value and it's just not going to be someone that I'm going to take I'm just not going to risk it. So he's just going to be someone who kind of has like a little bit of a plague around him forever.
26 years old, if he is the quarterback in Carolina, that's a good spot for a quarterback.
It is a good spot for him, but I just think that I don't even know.
It's going to be tough. Got Lamb for Barkley mid-season.
How'd you pull that off?
Yeah, that's good. Great job. It's a boss move right there, Ro. D-Hop and Amonra for Akers.
Akers,
yeah.
Take Akers.
Luke Jukum, would you rather pick up Agumbawale, which is a fun name to say, to block your running back needy opponent from getting him, or let him get Agumbawale so he has to play him against you?
I don't know. I'm not picking him up, so Sure.
I guess who would the other options be? I don't know that. I like the strategy. I like the way you're thinking here, Luke.
I'm not picking him up though.
Tyler says those first would be late 2022 first and a 24 first. Was this the one for Javonte? Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, then I'll keep Javonte.
Keep Javonte. Grant Singleton, AJ Dillon, Pittman for AJ Dillon and Pittman, excuse me, for Devontae Adams and a late second.
Yeah, so I'm not trading into Devontae Adams basically ever. If I had Devontae Adams, this isn't good enough. I know I can do better.
Adams is such a interesting offseason person.
But I'm not trading into Devontae Adams, and I'm probably not even trading this into Devontae Adams. So not this time of year. I mean, maybe if it was for this week, sure. But like, looking forward to the offseason, no. But if I had Adams, I would want more than this. He's worth more than this.
I just don't know that Pittman is going to be. Look, Carson Wentz has been fine, okay, but I don't know that. I don't know what Pittman's ceiling is.
It's not very high.
That's my only concern. I like Pittman, but
Adams is worth more than this. So I would, if I'm selling, I want more.
Tyler says I traded CMC and Hubbard for JK and 2 early 2022 thirds.
It's not good enough. I want more than that.
I think Dobbins is one of my favorite offseason
Sure,
buys, but you're right. It's not enough.
This is not enough.
Not enough.
Yeah, not enough.
Now, there's a chance that like we get to the first part of the season, we get into the season, you're going to be happy you did it.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I don't think you got.
I mean, McCaffrey is kind of on the Barkley trajectory in that we've had 2 injury seasons, 1 more, and he's done. So, but the difference between the two is, and big difference, is whenever McCaffrey's played, he's been McCaffrey.
That's
Whereas
true.
Barkley has played and been bad in 2019 at times, in 2020 in the 2 games he played, and all this year. He's played and been bad.
Yep.
That's the difference between the two. That's why I have, some interest still in McCaffrey, because every time he's played, he's still been good.
I agree. Tyler, that's it. The last Ask DLF of 2021 has taken place. I'm excited. We're at the end of the fantasy football season now. We've done this for a full fantasy football season, ready to enter into the off season.
Yeah, no, next show will be our first off-season show.
Yeah. So I am excited. I'm glad that we were able to do this, and I look forward to doing way more of this in the new year. And I'm excited. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate everybody in the comments for all the questions, all the interaction, and everything that we got today. Tyler, any last words?
I just appreciate everyone for being here with us in 2021, and I'm excited to make 2022 another great year doing the show.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.